Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another episode of the Ocean Star Sports Show. I'm your host, sports reporter Dominic Polio. We had great weather this week, and I have great highlights for you, so let's hop right into it. You get that? Hop right into it? Never mind. Here we go. First up, Brick softball in a tight game against Toms River South on Monday. It was a rough start for the Green Dragons in Monday's softball game against Toms River South. In the end, Brick Township came up with a walk-off victory 4-3, but before we get there, let's take it from the top. The Indians brought 3 across the plate in the first inning, capitalizing on an out-of-sorts Brick Township defense. Toms River South scored on a play at the plate, a fielder's choice, and then a passed ball on a high pitch. The Dragons were able to close the side on 2 strikeouts from Christine Frazee and went to work from the batter's box down 3-0. In the bottom of the second inning, 2 walks put 2 Dragons on base for Erica O'Rourke. She rose to the occasion and smacked an RBI double for Brick Township's first run of the game. The Dragons' defense kept the score the same through the top of the fourth. Here's a nice grab from Juliana Forbes in foul territory to keep the game close for her team. The offense then pulled the Dragons back into contention in the bottom of the inning. With a runner on third, Jamie Fogarty drills a grounder to right field for an RBI single. Then it was O'Rourke again with a big hit from the box. The ball clears the infield and through the legs of the outfielder. O'Rourke reaches third while Fogarty scores, tying the game at 3. The score remained the same through the 6th as both defenses made nice plays for outs. The Dragons' defense remained resilient in the top of the 7th, keeping the Indians at 3. Then, it looked like the game would go to extra innings after Toms River South secured the first out of Brick Township's final at-bat. But it was O'Rourke with another big moment for the Dragons. A hard hit off the glove of the third baseman and a missed throw to second base put O'Rourke all the way on third. Forbes then laid down a bunt and reached second base as the Indians protected home plate. It didn't matter much, though, with Nicole DiGiovanni up to bat next. The senior hits a grounder to short, and O'Rourke beats the throw to home. The Dragons walk off with the 4-3 win in 7 innings. That is the second walk-off win I've got to witness for the Green Dragons, who look to continue finding success on the field. We're sticking with softball, but we're going to Point Borough High School as the Panthers went toe-to-toe with the Manchester Township Hawks. It did not end in a win for Borough, but there were some great highlights and some great plays throughout. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the highlight. The Point Borough softball team was on the hunt for its first win of the season Monday, but came up short against Manchester Township 8-3. The first 2 innings went scoreless for both teams, but a 2-out rally in the third put the Hawks ahead 4-0. Manchester scored on a shallow bloop over first for 2 runs, then a liner to right field for another, and then on a passed ball and a play at the plate. The Hawks added 1 more run in the 4th with a home run well over the center field fence. The Panthers then managed their first score of the game in the bottom of the inning. Danielle Payton reaches first on a walk and eventually made her way over to third. Ashley DeSantis then hit a sac fly to score Payton, and the inning closed with Borough behind 5-1. Strong defense from Kate Drew in left field kept the Hawks at 5 through the top of the 5th. Olivia Youngman had the strong bat for Borough, scoring 2 Panthers on a single to right field in the bottom of the inning. Borough was only trailing by 2 runs, and the 6th went scoreless. The Hawks stayed tough to plate, though, and with the bases loaded, Sam and Neo hit a Manchester batter to score a run. The Hawks then scored twice more on 2 RBI singles to increase their lead to 8-3. Youngman came in to pitch for a Neo, and Drew made another nice grab for an out in left field. Then it was Peyton who closed the top of the inning with an equally impressive snag in shallow center. The Panthers tried to generate some offense in their final at-bat, but the Hawks' defense didn't budge. Borough falls to Manchester in 7 innings, 8-3. That point, Borough defense sure does have a strong outfield. Even better news is, the Panthers picked up their first win of the season against Neptune Township later this past week. We're going to move away from softball and go into boys lacrosse. First up, Brick Memorial Boys Lacrosse at home Tuesday morning. Check it out. The Brick Memorial Mustangs were looking for a bounce-back win and found it in Tuesday's non-divisional matchup against Lacey Township. The Mustangs rallied late to secure an 11-6 victory over the Lions. Lacey started the game strong, scoring 2 early goals in the first quarter. Then, with 5 minutes to go, Gavin Murphy found the back of the net for the Mustangs. His goal brought his team within 1 and also marked his 100th career point. Yeah, Gavin! Before the first quarter closed out, Lacey managed one last score, and Brick Memorial was trailing by 2 to start the second. 44 seconds into the quarter, though, it was Murphy with another score on the dish from Henry Moran. Soon after, it was Joey Ferrara with the lefty strike to knot the game at 3 apiece. The Mustangs traded a few more opportunities to score, but the Lacey goalie was playing on point. The two teams went into halftime tied up, but the Lions wasted little time retaking the lead. They scored less than a minute into the third, but it was Moran who went back and forth with the Lions most of the third. He tied the game with a goal, and Lacey responded on the next possession. But again, Moran was there with an answer for the Mustangs. He then notches a hat trick with another goal to give Brick Memorial the 6-5 lead in the third. The third quarter closed out with another goal for Ferrara and another for Murphy and one last goal for the Lions. With an 8-6 lead to begin the final quarter, it was all Ferrara and the Mustangs. Ferrara scored not 1, not 2, but 3 more Mustangs goals in the final quarter. The Mustangs go on to beat Lacey 11-6 in regulation. And there you have it, folks. That is an experienced team pulling out a much-needed win over a tough opponent. Congratulations, Mustangs, on the win. We're sticking with boys lacrosse, dropping Memorial, picking up Township, as the Green Dragons played a battle, absolute battle, against Wall Township on Wednesday. Lots and lots of goals. Lots and lots of highlights. It was a frenzy of offense for both Brick Township and Wall Township in Wednesday's boys lacrosse game. The Green Dragons fought admirably, falling only 2 goals short to the Knights, 11-9. Wall had the first lead of the game with an early goal in the first. Will Swiderski answered for the Dragons shortly after to tie the game. Then it was Mickey Holland with a nice shot for another brief lead. The Knights answered seconds later, and the game was tied again. That's when Richie Cosgrove joined the scoring barrage, netting another Brick Township goal. Wall then scored back-to-back goals, the second of which came after a steal in Brick Township territory for the 4-3 lead. No worries though, Cosgrove came back for his second score to tie the contest yet again. The two teams closed the first, tied at 4. The Dragons found the net first in the second quarter with another strong shot from Holland. The Knights' response came 1 minute later in the form of another goal. Swiderski then notched his second goal of the game with 5.5 minutes left in the first half on a low rip. This time, Wall answered with 3 goals in the closing minutes. The third goal came with only 11 seconds left in the half, leaving the Dragons trailing by 2 at halftime. Brick Township did not go quietly, though, as Swiderski cut the deficit in half with his third goal. Then it was Sean Menjivar who got in on the action to tie the game up at 8. Wall claimed another lead with 5 minutes left in the third, but the Dragons tied it yet again. This time it was Nick Diufemia off the dish from Nick Mara to tie the game one last time as the third quarter closed 9-9. The Knights came out aggressive in the final quarter and quickly scored 2 goals in the first minute and a half. The Green Dragons would spend the rest of the game trying to score again. Nothing made its way to the back of the net, though, and Wall closed out the victory over Brick Township. A little more time and a few more shots, and that game could have been decided in overtime. A great effort from the Dragons to fight till the very end. That is the final highlight of today's show, but I tell you time and time again, there is more sports in the actual newspaper, so make sure you pick up today's copy of the Ocean Star. That is April 14th, 2017. The sports section starts on page 37, and it doesn't end till page 48, so make sure you read it from front to back. In the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at DomPolio. That's at DOMPOLLIO. Thank you guys for stopping by and checking out the show. I hope to see you again next week for another episode of the Ocean Star Sports Show. But for now, signing off for Star News Group, wishing you a happy Easter weekend. I'm Dominic Polio. Have a good one.